can majorly affect stress and anxiety because we get visual overload. It bombards our visual cortex, the part of our brain that is responsible for like processing what we see, with excessive stimuli, which makes it hard for our brain to process that information effectively. And this, of course, can make us feel overwhelmed and stressed out. And then it increases cognitive load. Basically, just the amount of sensory input that our brain has to process leads us to feeling completely fatigued mentally with decreased focus. And it's interesting because a study by the UCLA Center on Everyday Lives of Families, is that kind of interesting? Like, I would like to see what else these people study. That's very cool. Anyway, they examined 32 middle-class families, dual income families in LA, and they found that clutter in the home significantly increase the cognitive load on the people in that home, leading to greater stress and lower overall well-being. I think that's absolutely massive. It's kind of like, you could compare it, if you can relate to this, to like having a toddler screaming at you or a teenager pestering you about getting a new cell phone, and try as you might, but you are not getting those taxes done or even dinner made. You know, for as an example. Clutter can also impair our focus and our productivity because it acts as a constant distraction, kind of like we talked about before, diverting our attention from tasks and making it difficult to concentrate. And then it's basically like we're having to task switch all of the time. A cluttered environment basically makes our brain switch between different kinds of stimuli, and it reduces our overall efficiency and productivity. I don't know about you, but maybe if you've ever tried to maybe you're making dinner, but then you're like, oh, I gotta go and do the laundry. Oh, I had to quickly fill out this permission slip for my kid. Oh, what was I doing with dinner? Like, you have to reorient yourself all the time, just like this. And honestly, it's just so hard for our brain. It's like if there was a marching band playing and then all of a sudden they changed tempo and songs and all of these things, and then they were over here and then they were over there. You might be able to go just start to go with the flow, and then things switch. I feel like that is what clutter can be like. Now, yes, if you are at home, and a lot of the times our clutter kind of stays the same, and we do start to get kind of a blindness to it, but it still makes it so hard to get things done. Our productivity can suffer. Research from the University of Minnesota showed that while a messy environment maybe can stimulate creativity, it also impairs focus and productivity. And the study indicated that a complex relationship where clutter can sometimes boost out-of-box thinking. I mean, maybe because you look over and you see a pile of National Geographic magazines and you think, oh, that's the ticket. That's exactly the thing that I needed. But generally, it just hinders our ability to focus on our tasks efficiently. So I think overall, I don't know about you, but for me, clutter reduces my creativity hugely. I think for me, one of the biggest reasons is that I actually, to be creative, quite often will go and lie down, because I need less stimulation, not more. Maybe other people do need that. For me, I need less, and I need quiet, I need space. I can't have quiet and space in a cluttered environment. Clutter can also have a negative emotional impact. Guilt and shame. Living in a cluttered space, it can just lead us feeling bad, embarrassed, especially when others see that clutter. Plus, persistent clutter, it can just make us have a sense of loss of control and helplessness, negatively impact our mental health. And I think that truly this can really make anxiety worse. It can make our self-worth worse. And it's funny because then maybe we'll see less people. And as much as the introvert in me wants to say I don't need people, no, we do need people. We're humans, we're social, we need to see people. And one time, I've told this story, but my mom, she basically, I think she just knocked on the door with two of my aunts, and God love her, I think she just didn't have the opportunity to warn me that they were coming over, but I was horrified. And I absolutely love my aunts, and a few of them may see this, but I just want people to see my house at its best, right? My house was not ready for people to come over. And this was just another reason why I was like, I need to declutter because I want to have my house somewhat company ready. And I mean, my house is not always clean. Like, I generally would like a 10-minute warning still that people are coming over because there's stuff that's laying around. But because we've decluttered, it's easier for me to quickly tidy up. How do you feel about people coming over? Do you want a warning? What effect does a decluttered environment have on the brain? Well, it is good news. Basically, people with cleaner, less cluttered living spaces are healthier and more active than those with messy homes. And I think this makes perfect sense because when your house is decluttered, you might feel a little bit more energized, a little less depressed. A decluttered space, it provides a sense of calm and order, reducing our brain to feel stressed, which is awesome. Fewer distractions also allow for better mental clarity and relaxation, which I think is so handy. Because when our house is decluttered, we can just sort of like sit and think. It's like I mentioned when I want to be creative, how often like just go and lie down. That's because there's not a lot of distraction. And I'm also talking about like not like digital distraction and like people and stuff like that. If your home is tidy, and I think like maybe people might be like, well, I don't need to be creative. And I totally get that. But you still want to be able to have time and space to think about life, to think about like whatever. Maybe you want to like get really philosophical, or you want to just like read a book and not be distracted. I think that's really nice because a decluttered environment, it really makes us have more enhanced focus on average and better productivity because we can have clearer priorities. A tighter environment, it helps our brain to focus on the task at hand, improving concentration and efficiency. So you're not being distracted by like that monkey playing cymbals in the corner. You can actually like focus on like your writing or your painting or your gardening or watching TV, like anything. Like truly, I think like you being able to relax without feeling like your environment is just like sort of like coming at you like this is a great thing. And it also helps with efficient task management. With less clutter, it's easier to organize and manage our tasks, leading to better productivity. When my house is crazy cluttered, I actually am just like, oh my gosh, I haven't even meal planned. What are we having for dinner? When it's tidy and decluttered, I can like whip out my planning app on my phone and get the meals organized and get stuff bought. I mean, things just fall through the cracks when like, isn't it true, really? Like when everything is chaos, then everything is chaos. And of course, it has a positive emotional impact. We have a sense of control in our lives. And I think that that is pretty much what everybody needs. We feel so often like life is a little bit crazy because we really don't have control of a lot. But maintaining a decluttered space, it gives us that sense of control and accomplishment, which makes us feel better about ourselves. Whenever I can check something off of my to-do list, I feel good. And if I look around my house and it is tidy and decluttered, then I know that pretty much means I need to put on Sense and Sensibility, get myself out a cup of tea, give my cat a little scratch on the head, and enjoy myself. There's just a lot more contentment. A neat environment, it enhances our overall mood and emotional well-being. And of course, like the creativity, the open spaces, it stimulates that creative thinking by giving us a new, clean slate. It's just like a blank canvas. Plus, we have mental space. There's fewer distractions. The brain has more mental space to think creatively and to solve problems. Because the thing is, part of creativity, it's not just like, oh, I'm painting or whatever. It's figuring things out. It's solutions. Maybe your family has something that they need help with, and you are like, I need to sit and think about this. Having a decluttered space is good for that. And even my husband, he's like, I'm not creative, but he sure could use time and space to think sometimes. And maintaining a decluttered space, it can have such a profound positive effect on our mental health and our cognitive function, making us feel better, calmer, more organized in life. You might be like, okay, but how do I declutter? Don't worry, friend, I have got you. Check out this video here. It's my entire system, start to finish, to how to get your home decluttered. Now, stay tidy and mighty. I hope something great happens for you today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!